Well, it's back like we never left. It's finishes Manchester United 1, Wolves 0 in a pleasant surprise of a performance to start the season. Really, really happy with that. One big issue, it's glaringly obvious. It's been obvious for 3 years. It's putting the ball in the back of the net. What it comes down to, we'll have to work out. I mean, we need 2 strikers on the field for 1. I mean, I thought we looked so much better the moment Fabio Silva came on. But that being said, we still created a number of chances that we should have been putting at least 1, 2, 3 of those away during the first 80 minutes of the game. So in that sense, really disappointing in front of goal. But everywhere else, I'm really, really, really happy. I thought the midfield were absolutely superb. Bit careless in possession at times, and that could go for the defenders as well. But there was some proper standout performances today. The likes of João Gomez, Lamina, Nelson Semedo, I thought was probably arguably my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely excellent. Are there still people calling for Matt Doherty to be playing over this guy? I have no idea. It's clear as day. Nelson Semedo is one of the best players in our football team at the moment. So, I think there's still a lot more to come from this team. I thought we'd be a lot more defensive. I thought we'd be a lot more counter-attacking. There was counter-attacking elements, but I think we held our own absolutely during the large proportions of those games of that game. So really, really happy on that front. Shot ourselves in the foot by not sticking the ball in the net, but in the 90 whatever minute, Anana takes out Kalajdzic in what might be the clearest penalty you will see for the entire season, at least half of it. Man United away. Don't know what you're expecting. It's pretty obvious that it ain't going to get given, but for it to not even go to the monitor is surprising. Really disappointing. Stonewall penalty. And in that sense, we've been robbed of a point. But yeah, it's one of those days. It's first game of the season. There's a lot to be happy about. A couple of things to tidy up, but for a manager that's only had 4 minutes with the squad, 4 days with the squad, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll see you soon.
So it finished Manchester United 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. First game in charge under Gary O'Neill. Really, really positive to take from that game. Loads and loads of positive to take from it. So a few things I just want to highlight moving forward. So it was a 4-4-2 formation. It wasn't a 4-3-3 like they said in different social media outfits. It wasn't never going to be that, I didn't think, to start with. Not much change in the Rennes game in terms of the team sheet, apart from the big tactical change of Nunes playing on the left, even though he played really well against Rennes on Saturday on the right-hand side. He played on the left against Man United. I think this is more to do with the fact with last season when Pedro Neto was on the left-hand side, running out to Wan-Bissaka. Last season he really struggled, and he played on the right-hand side this time. I think it might have been something to do with that, potentially, which really worked because Neto was so much better in this game than last year. Up front was Kuna up front and Srabi just behind very essentially. I think that worked to a certain extent the first half, Srabi playing balls into Kuna. Again, second half, Srabi's pace and the pace of the game picked up a little bit. As he got more spread, I think he struggled to get into the game a little bit more, and he came off when I thought he probably should come off. Kilman today, stepping out from the back. Some good bits where he intercepted the ball, a couple of times he got caught out, and he nearly got a chance and he scored from it in the first half. So he's got to be careful of that if he's going to commit that far. Again, from the whole team, really, really like the high press. Everyone working in the same direction. Everyone trying to do the same thing. Really, really positive from the team. So they worked so much better than this time last year. Better performance than this time last year. Kuna really positive, running from deep, picking the ball up from our own half, driving forwards, carrying it past United players again and again and again. Really, really like that. Lights going off in the middle of the video. Really like that. Nunes, really, really like that from him as well. He was carrying it from deep. And same with Neto, full of powerful runners. Now my question is, I probably would drop Srabi for next game. I know he had some good bits where he's playing players in, but I think if we're going to drive forward and be as combative and counteractive as we are, I think Srabi is going to slow the play down. So I think there is a good footballer in there, but with this style of play at the moment, particularly away from home, I don't think Srabi should be playing. Hwang did quite a bit more when he came on, got a few performing shots away, beat his defender on the outside. That's what we want from those sorts of players. Man of the match for me, got to be Semedo. Absolutely faultless Semedo. I know that Varane scored by beating him at the back post, but that was nothing he could do about that. The mistakes were made before we got to him. Apart from that, it's pretty much faultless performance from Semedo, so really, really good. And then obviously, we're not going to say much about the penalty. It was a Stonewall penalty. Not sure how that wasn't given. Not sure how it wasn't overturned. Wasn't even looked at. All that sort of stuff. But apart from Gary O'Neill, really, really impressed by Gary O'Neill so far. I know it's only first game, but we'll see how he gets on against Brighton, and really positive performance from the boys. So we'll keep going, and we'll see how we get on Saturday.
Evening, Wolves fans. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but still talking about the same rubbishness. I'm going to struggle not to swear on this, I think, after I've just lost my head. It's such a shame after such a good performance, something like that has to ruin it right at the end again. I don't know how anyone can try and argue that's not a penalty when the keeper just come and clearly wipes the player out nowhere near the ball in the last minute of the game, when there's a chance he could actually get on it probably. I don't know. Like, yeah, let's not talk about that too much. Let's go on the positives really, because it was a really, really positive performance. Better side for the 90, I think. First half an hour I thought we were phenomenal. The press was brilliant. I thought a few players tired a little bit towards the end of the first half, and we got a little bit sloppy, a bit lazy with a few passes, and I think a bit nervy. You know what, we rode it out, we done okay. And you know what, the whole performance, I think there's only one player that made me nervous throughout the whole game, and that was probably Jose Sarr. Which is a shame, because we all know he's good at shot stopping, but why is he off his line again? Constantly. Just seems like he doesn't like being there. Yeah, so many good performances though, all across the pitch. I thought Cunha was sensational, apart from scoring a goal. We know he's not a natural goal scorer. I think every Wolves fan's already said that, we already know it. But his ability to win the ball, work back, defend, and then drive with the ball, it's just phenomenal. He just seems to know where he is and where the space is. And he seems to pick the right option actually 9 times out of 10. I think that lets down throughout the game with picking options and the final ball again. But again, how long's that been a problem for? But good to see some players actually have good performances, like Neto. I thought he was really, really good again. Looked sharp, looked like he was on it, looked like he wanted to take a man on, get inside and do something. Which again, he's looked a bit nervous lately from what I've seen in the back end of last season, so it's nice to see that again. I think Fabio, when he come on, his instinct for goal, you can just tell he's natural. Always seems to be where the ball's going to fall, gets a strike on goal, seems to hit the target. Unlucky not to score a couple. I know they go at the keeper, but it's only the only place you can put him really where he is. Just the instinct's just there though, isn't it? I think that's really good, and that could be vital. Having a natural predator in the box, someone who wants to go and get a goal. And Max Kilman, I thought, was sensational at the back today. It's his first game as official captain for Wolves. Defensively we were good all the way across, and I've got to give Semedo credit because I get on his back a lot, but I thought he was actually really good today. A few sloppy moments, which he always seems to have, but on the whole, phenomenal. Trying to wrap this up now because I'm trying to keep it a bit shorter, but yeah, on the whole, phenomenal performance. Shame it got let down, and my head went at the end of the game already for some corruptness, as always. But yeah, good performance on the whole, and if we play like that for the rest of the season, we're going to be absolutely fine. I was sceptical about O'Neill, but he's already changed my mind after one game. No, we'll see how it goes, but yeah, good start. Let's keep going, let's get some points.
So it is the morning after the night before. My voice is still absolutely toasted from the first game of the season, in which we've been obviously robbed. I'm not going to focus too much on the penalty because everyone knows that it should have been a penalty, and everyone knows that the referees have apologised by now, which I think I quickly worked out last night. If you do the maths, results in it's like 0.10 or 0.105 expected apologies per 90. Anyway, let's focus on the positives, which is that Gary O'Neill ball, however much of it has been developed by Lopetegui in the preseason, was fantastic. I'm usually not a big fan of Núñez on the wing, but keeping a clean sheet in the first half and then changing him centrally when we made the substitution seemed to work really well. Lemina and Gomez were absolutely fantastic. I mean, if Caicedo is going for 115 million, I don't know how much João Gomez is going to be worth, because if he has a season like that at his age, he'll be worth just as much, if not more. Our entire backline was absolutely brilliant. Semedo is just put in one of the best performances I've ever seen him make, regardless of whether he's at Wolves, at Barcelona, back in Portugal. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen. Absolutely pocketed Garnacho, and Shaw didn't really cause a problem when he was on that side. The only weak point, and it has been for the same 3 years, is being able to score a goal. Obviously, Cunha should have scored the chance at the back post from Núñez's pulled ball back. yeah, we just don't have anyone that can score. And we looked a little bit more likely when Fabio came on and he tested Onana a couple of times. For me, Fabio just needs to start. I don't know whether he's not starting because he's due to leave or, Cunha's not a lone number 9. So if you play both of them together, I think special things will happen. We don't have a lot of good squad depth, but today the substitutions were pretty good. I would have to say they actually had some influence on the game for once. We could do with a couple of loans in at the end of the window, maybe an extra midfielder. I know we've still got Boubacar Traore, but honestly, I think we'll be fine. Forget all the relegation shouts, forget all that. I genuinely think we'll be finishing in comfortably in mid-table if we play like that. And in Gary, I trust. So that's it, really. On to the next one, on to Brighton at home. I'm not confident because they're a good team, but I am hopeful. And that's more than I can say at the start of the season.
It's finished Wolves 0, Manchester United 1 in the first game of the season. Great to be back. New season, new manager, same players. But when you look past that, I think we all thought today that Man United were going to give us a good hiding. We all thought that. I was thinking that up until the first whistle blew. But what a difference we saw from what we were expecting. We were absolutely fantastic today in every single area of the pitch. I cannot fault one player at all today. We've created so many chances and had so many shots, and funnily enough, it comes down to it again. We just haven't had that cutting edge to win us the game. We've absolutely battered Man United today, and I can't quite believe I'm saying that. After we lost our manager, what was it, six days ago, and a new one's come in, and the effort and the hard work and the pressing and everything to do with Wolves today was just fantastic. We nullified Man United to literally nothing apart from one cross into the box, which is, it is what it is at the end of the day. That they'll be thinking that they're very lucky to come away with anything from that game, let alone 3 points. So it's very, very promising for us. It's brilliant to see. It's a fantastic watch. Their fans got behind the lads from minute 1 to minute 90, and that's what we need. And if that's their performances we're getting this season, then bring them on, because once we start finding the back of the net, and if that is the level that we're playing at this season, we'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, decent first game of the season. On to Brighton, tough match on Saturday, but we'll give it everything we've got again, and hopefully we'll be able to have something to show for it. So cheers for having me on, boys. Good to be back, and see you next week.
Well, first game of the season, unfortunately lost 1-0, but to be fair, that was a lot better than I was anticipating. Starting 11, I think, was pretty much what most people would have gone for. I probably would have gone for either Silva or Sasha instead of Sarabia, but I'm not Sarabia's biggest fan generally, and I thought he had a pretty poor game again today, gave the ball away a bit too much. Silva looked lively when he came on. I like the fact that every time he gets the ball, he wants to have a shot and hits the target with every one, which is all you can ask for really from your striker. Could have done better maybe with one or two of them, but I thought he looked lively, looked a real handful today, and hopefully the loan out last season has done him some good. Cunha, absolutely brilliant today. Best player on the pitch for me by a mile. Picking the ball up deep, direct running, beating a player. Played really, really well. Could have argued he could have released the ball a little bit earlier a couple of times, but I'm probably being a little bit picky there. One out to Hwang. I think Hwang should have shot really rather than try to get it back across. And one out to Sarabia, which took a deflection and went wide. The ball to Sarabia potentially could have been a little bit better. But yeah, Cunha's all-round play really was brilliant today. I'd just like to see him up front with either Sasha or Fabio Silva. I think a natural goal scorer alongside him would have probably got a couple of goals today. Again, finishing could have been better from Cunha. One in particular came out to him at the back post, and all he had to do really was hit the target, but he's hit the post and it's gone behind for a goal kick. That was disappointing. But, to go to Old Trafford and have 23 shots, I think they said it was the most since 2005 by an away side at Old Trafford, and certainly miles better than the performance we had at Old Trafford last season. I think that midfield looks good. I like the midfield of Lamina, Gomez and Nunez, although Nunez is kind of drifting out wide. But I think all three of them have got plenty of running in them, breaking up the ball, getting on the ball, driving forward. We had periods where we were pressing, periods where we'd sit back. I think that's to be expected. I don't think you can fully press for a full 90 minutes. I think it's just too much to ask of the players. But we kept United quiet. Someone should have gone with Varane really for the run. I hold Sars partly responsible as well. I think his positioning was potentially all wrong, but there's better goalkeeper coaches out there than me. But yeah, overall, really, really positive performance. Looking forward to the season a lot more than I was before that game. Disappointing Lopetegui didn't think those players were good enough, because I think they've proven today they probably are. And the bench was relatively strong as well. A couple of injuries won't help, but if that happens, but fingers crossed everyone stays fit. But yeah, Gary O'Neill's first game in charge, have to say it was positive and encouraging. So long may it continue.